And I will always love you. So goodbye, Joe, don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. And I will always love you. I think I'm making Joe uncomfortable with my love song. Hi, Hector. Hi, Alfredo. Make up some names, Joe. Make up the names.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, Alvarez?
Everybody, how are you?
Everybody. Everybody, how are you?
How is good?
Happy Sunday, Joe. Sunday.
How you doing, Rob? How is everything?
Hi, Rob. Oh, look, Joe. Jordan Joe's in the house today.
How you doing, George?
Hi, George.
Okay.
Hi, Jordan Joe. George and Joe.
How you doing, Mario? How is everything?
Hey, Joe, who is Jordan Joe?
You and me.
I don't think he's joking, folks. What's happening, everybody? It's your old pal Boogie Bob, your favorite YouTuber, along with Jordan Joe. Joe, how was your vacation? That's what everybody wants to know.
All right, okay, at the end of the month I go on a vacation.
Where you going, Joe?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That's where Joe goes. If you guys ever want to find Joe on the weekends, he's in Pennsylvania.
I go skiing, you know, because I'm a good skier.
I bet.
I was the number one in skiing in Europe.
In Europe?
The
In
first
Europe.
prize,
Very nice.
1920.
In the 1920s. I didn't even know they had skis back then.
Yeah,
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope that you're having a blessed day wherever you're at.
They used to ski on a monkey that time.
You used to ski on a monkey?
You ride a monkey and you ski, the monkey ski, and you're on top of it.
All right. I don't know what the hell Joe's talking about. Joe's acting crazy today. Joe, I finally got admitted into the Bloods gang. So I'm officially a Blood. So if you see any Crips, out there, it's on site.
How is your blood?
How was my blood? My blood was fine, Joe.
Okay.
Today is nice. It's 45 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know how Fahrenheit works, Joe.
63.
63 degrees Celsius and 22 centigrade and E pluribus unum. Hey, Joe, what do you got going today? Anything? Did you do the pantry yesterday? I forgot to ask you.
No, this week we don't have pantry. Next week we do.
Okay. Next week, Joe will be in the
pack up
pantry.
food before they do the pantry.
Gotta stock up on the old foodaruno. Joe, I'm very happy to report the Taco Bell's back open again. Open for business.
They renovated the place. They didn't close it.
They redesigned the whole Taco Bell.
Yeah.
There's no longer a menu so you can go in there and order. I'll have a burrito supreme and you got to go to the kiosk. If you don't want the kiosk, you ain't eating it. Can't go to no human. I'm like, sir, I don't like using the machine. Let me get a burrito supreme. He goes, sir, you see a menu up there? I go, no, but I know what, you got the Mexican pizza, the chalupa. Sir, no menu.
How you doing, my friend?
Hi, my friend.
How is everything?
Let's do it, Joe. We've lollygagged long enough. Look at this. Sick days. It's going to be something about Biden. I don't know what Biden did, but Biden did something. Sorry. Biden did something. Simone Biles, Joe. That's our Olympic gold medal treasure. Beautiful Simone Biles, African-American gold medalist, considered the greatest gymnast of all time, male or female. She got married. She went for the gold ring. She got a ring. Put a ring around it. If you really wanted her to put a ring on it. Oh. Okay, Joe. I've dilly-dallied enough. I've done enough lollygagging. Time to get down to the serious news, Joe.
¿Cómo está?
Joe saying hi to people again. This absolutely sickens me. There's my old buddy Tracy Morgan. I love Tracy Morgan. I just hate his stupid boots. You look like a moron. If I see any of you wearing these big old red rubbery stupid boots,
You don't talk anymore.
I'm gonna tell you you're a moron. Even Tracy Morgan, who I love. What are you doing with them boots on, bruh? You look like Pinocchio.
Who won
Are
the
you out of your
boxing
mind?
yesterday?
Well, we're going to get to that, Joe. I'll tell you now. It was Ryan Garcia versus Tank. That's what he's called, Tank. And Ryan Garcia is faster, he's a little bigger, he's taller, he's got reach. Tank is 28-0 with 26 knockouts. Ryan Garcia was like 24-0 with like 22 knockouts. It was a fight of the century, which they have every other year, a fight of the century. Tank knocked him out, Joe. Guess how he knocked him out? With a body shot. Joe, you're a boxer, you know. Most people punch in the head. But if you get that one body shot, Joe, right there in the kidney or the liver, it's over. He hit him. The guy stood up for about 3 seconds. He went down to his knee. He said, I'm done. He could not make it up by the count of 10, so Tank won. There's something fishy about Tracy Morgan. The Knicks diehard won't eat anything Sunday at the world's most famous arena when he cheers on the New York against the Cavs in Game 4. I'm a pescatarian now, so all I eat is fish and vegetables, so I eat before I go, he dished. Who cares? I just want to know why he's wearing these stupid-ass rubbery boots. You moron. So I was actually quite friendly with Tracy Morgan back in the day on his rise to fame. Joe, he was a Saturday Night alumni, Saturday Night Live. He went on to do movies and stuff. And then, Joe, something several years ago happened that would change his life forever. He was going from one comedy show to the next, and he was getting 3 or 4, 10 grand for show, pretty good. He was hit by a Walmart truck, Joe. His best friend was killed, and Tracy Morgan was seriously injured. He was in a coma forever. I think he got $32 million from Walmart. So he's very, very, very wealthy. Look at his bracelet. He's got a big-ass eagle on his bracelet. Anyways, I'm not doing all that. Let's see, ill-gotten gains by a jailed teacher. This teacher goes to jail, Joe, for 3 months, and the school district still pays her. How are you going to pay a teacher while she's in prison, Joe? Does that sound fair to anybody?
It's fair.
So you think a teacher should go to prison and get paid?
Yes.
You're insane.
Why not?
Well, because if you go to jail, you're not working. Why are you getting paid as a teacher if you're in prison?
It's a pension.
It's not a pension, Joe. She's 38 years old. Special ed teacher therapist ended up in a federal prison for fraud. But for 3 months, she got 6 times, $24,000. Not bad. Go to prison and get paid $24,000. Joe's with it. I'm not with it. Let's see. I'm not doing that. Corrupt officer at 1PP Perp. I don't know what that means. One of the most corrupt cops in New York. You know, there's a lot of corrupt cops in New York, Joe.
Yeah.
One of the most corrupt. That's a pretty big feat to be considered one of the most corrupt out of the hundreds and thousands of officers. One of the most corrupt cops in New York City's history walked into NYPD's Lower Manhattan headquarters and posted the visit on social media. Michael Dowd, they did a whole documentary, and he was from the precinct, the 47th, I forget what precinct it was. He spent 12 years in prison for shaking down drug dealers. 75th precinct, I apologize. I think if you just type in 75 on Netflix, one of those things, it comes up, the 75th precinct, Joe. They were just cops. They would come to work just to rob drug dealers. A couple of them actually murdered a couple cops. Caitlyn Jenner. I don't understand Caitlyn Jenner, Jill. Caitlyn Jenner used to be Bruce Jenner, my childhood hero. Bruce Jenner won the decathlon in the 1972 Olympics. Maybe it was 76, I can't remember. He was one of the most famous men on the planet. He has now transitioned as a woman. God bless him. I support him and his transition. He was on the cover of Wheaties box, and then he got Time magazine for Woman of the Year. He was very brave to change his life at the age of 70 to become a woman that he always felt he was. Absolutely great. The problem I have with Caitlyn Jenner, aka earlier Bruce Jenner, is that he does not support any trans people. He's trans, he doesn't support any trans people because he is a huge Trumper, and the GOP does not support trans. So here he is, or he or she is, as a trans woman who refuses to support other trans people. It's just a sick, twisted, horrible person. Caitlyn Jenner escalated her war of words with Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney is the one who is on the beer can, ripping the trans influencer as fringe. I have never spoken to her, nor will I, said Jenner, 73 years old. I try to be for the LGBTQ plus community. They hate her guts. I don't know one gay person who supports Caitlyn Jenner because of her horrific policies against the gay community. She is a horrible, despicable person. I don't care what no one says. I don't care how mad you get. I keep it real. I tell the truth. I support her transition. I do not support her not helping anyone else and condemning the others who transition. She's a despicable person. Joe don't care. You think Joe cares? What are you, crazy? This is sad, Joe. We talked about the son, the 9-year-old.
He went there. Oh,
the father is grieving for his 9-year-old son, Joe. I can't imagine.
Can't imagine. How are you gonna live the rest of your life?
You're gonna live the rest of your life knowing that your 9-year-old son was stolen
when you
from
lose your 9-year-old son.
Arrested Polanco 10 Saturday to the memorial of his slain 9-year-old son, who was fatally shot while on vacation in the Dominican Republic. Now, I have so many Dominican friends, Joe. It's an honor for my Dominican friends in New York. It's a huge Dominican population in New York. It's an honor for them to take their children or their grandchildren back to their home country, because the grandmas and the neighbors who have never come to America are waiting in the Dominican Republic for you to bring your child to his pilgrimage to come home to the Dominican Republic and say, Grandma, this is your grandson from New York. And this poor young boy probably was so happy to be going. Look at this little angel. Look at this little peace sign. He was shot and killed. Missing Long Island mom and her 3-year-old daughter. Police are searching for a Long Island mother and her 3-year-old daughter who haven't been seen in 4 days. That's a very, very bad sign.
Where is the father?
Well, that's the first thing Joe does as a detective. He goes, look at who's the dad, because that's the culprit. Suffolk County Police have launched a search for Alexandra Hill, 38, and her toddler daughter, Chloe. The agency said, I'm so sick to my stomach, said Hill's mom, Pamela Hill. I just found out. Hill sobbed, nobody told me. A friend of Alexandra's called me because she said it was all over the paper. The mom said she is estranged from her ex-husband and hasn't seen her daughter in a year. Can't imagine. It's one thing to get the call that your daughter has been killed or the body has been found, but to be missing, you're sitting there with hope upon hope that you're going to be able to see this child.
A fly can be missing, but a human can be missing. That's something else.
Madison Square Garden CEO James Dolan is on a roll. By the way, CEO James Dolan owns my entire company. Now, I own my company, but the company that I own works for other companies, and one of the companies is Tao Group.
I own my own company myself.
Yeah, what's your company called, Joe?
Well,
Sitting in the park feeding pigeons.com. Bankrupt. Joe's, what's your company called? Bankrupt? Bankrupt.com. By the way, I got a letter yesterday that said if anybody wants to buy Joe a car, signed, not Joe. It was not from Joe.
Thank you if you buy
Thank you if you buy him a car.
You make me happy.
It's 85. He ain't driving nowhere.
A small car.
Joe, can you drive?
Yeah, me and my wife.
Can you afford parking in this city?
I'm not going to park it here. I'll park it outside New York.
Because parking in New York City costs, on average, more than an apartment. That's a fact.
No, I can't park it.
An off-duty police officer, Jacob Peterson, was charged with driving drunk after he was spotted passed out behind the wheel. 29 years old, is assigned to the 102nd Precinct in Richmond Hill. Got himself into hot water during a traffic stop. He's unconscious in the car, Joe.
Take his license again.
Put him in jail. How about that?
Could have killed many people.
Absolutely. Dr. Phil always says, what gives you the right to get behind a 3,000-pound missile and kill people?
Yeah.
Mario Brothers, the movie, Joe, the movie. I know your grandkids love Mario Brothers. Everybody loves Mario Brothers. The Super Mario Brothers movie topped the box office for a third week in a row. The animated adventure made $14 million so far. Holy crap. So far, Joe, the movie's made over $400 million. $400 million. Charlie Sheen, my old buddy, my old boss, my friend. Joe, Charlie Sheen was one of the biggest stars in the world, bro. He had 2.5 Men. He had, I don't know how many movies, dozens and dozens of movies.
It's Jesse Field in that movie.
Huh?
Jesse Field.
Jesse Field? What the hell's that?
It's an actor. He was 100 years ago.
Oh.
Is he in this movie?
No, he's not in this movie that was made 25 years ago. Charlie Sheen, Joe, I used to go and get him tissue paper when he would get nosebleeds from doing coke at the job. And he was very open about it. The first time he sent me to get him paper, to get him some, I owned the bathroom attendant service that served his places. He sent me to get him some paper, so I ran down to the bathroom and borrowed him paper towels. And he said, no, bro, come on, that's too rough. You do a lot of coke and your nose is all rough, you can't blow it on paper towels. So the toilet paper at our business was not very good either, so he sent me to Dwayne Reed, which was like 3 or 4 blocks away at the time, to get him Charmin. He requested Charmin. And I would get him Charmin toilet paper. Put a big ass glob like this and blow his nose in it. Nice guy though. Very, very, very nice guy. Charlie Sheen publicly needled Elon Musk. Him and Elon Musk got a little fight going while begging for the return of his blue Twitter checkmark. Sheen, like thousands of others, lost his official verification badge after a site-wide purge. If you are on Twitter, Joe, you can get a little blue checkmark that says you're official, but costs $8 a month. Elon Musk took them all down the other day. Took all the checkmarks down. Alec Baldwin has been all charges dropped against him for the murder. He's back on the set, filming. There he is. I don't know if anybody's going to go see this movie. The name of the movie is Rust. Alec Baldwin seen holding a gun. Who the hell's... Oh, he's holding the gun backwards. Who the hell's going to want to be in a movie with Alec Baldwin handing you a gun, bro? On the set of Rust on Friday, one day after involuntary manslaughter charges against him were dropped by the district attorney. I don't care. I don't know. Looks like Hunter Biden is finally going to be talking about the laptop after 9 years. got a picture of his penis on the laptop. This was I think, an Alfred exclusive. Dame Edna, actor. Dame Edna, Joe, was a guy dressed as a woman. Hilarious and fun. And his name was Barry Humphries. I did not know this. 89 years old, Joe. A huge, huge celebrity, especially in England. And he died in a hospital in Australia. I wonder if he was Australian. Does anybody out there know anything about Dame Edna?
Australia, New Zealand, England, it's all the same.
It's all the same?
The same family rule does.
That's a fact. Barry Humphries, the Tony-winning comic actor behind the snobbish diva Dame Edna, died Saturday at a hospital in Sydney, Australia. This was a huge, huge superstar. 89 years old, Joe. That's a pretty good life. Being treated for complications following a hip replacement in February, but had brushed aside recent concerns about his condition. Even made plans for a countrywide tour at 89.
Hip replacement at 89.
That's pretty.
The body is not gonna take it.
Pretty tough. Uh-oh. Look at this. They just unearthed a letter ID'd as royal racist. Well, we know that the royal family has been deemed racist for decades, for centuries.
1,000 years.
Centuries. A millennium. I said decades, weeks, months, years. Joe's right. 1,000 years. They have been deemed racist. They had more slaves than anybody. And Meghan Markle took her concerns about racism within the royal family to King Charles III, penning her father-in-law a letter in which she identified the relative who commented on her unborn son's skin color. Apparently there were some royals. Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, had a baby, and she is of, Meghan Markle is of African-American descent, and somebody in the royal family commented that they were worried about the skin tone of the baby. That's a no-no in the black community, folks. The black community. You got white guys that are almost all white. They look like me and Joe. Joe's an Arab guy, but he looks white. Look at him. He's got the same skin tone.
I'm related to the royal family.
There it is. Maybe Joe can give me some money after the show. Black folks have a whole spectrum, a whole different shades. I have many black nephews and nieces, and from the same family, and some are dark and some are light. It's just how it works. And long story short, commenting on the color of her baby was about as uncool as you can get. Busted Central Park bashing, Joe. Central Park used to be so scary to walk in there in the 80s, 90s. You lived here back then, Joe. Very, very scary. Not so much anymore. But it's a very, very big park. So if something does go down in the middle of that park, ain't no cops around, bro. That's like getting mugged in the middle of the desert. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters? A deranged man who pushed a woman down a hill as she walked along Central Park Reservoir. Oh, I know that reservoir, and there are hills off the bank. And then repeatedly slammed her head against a tree, has been arrested. Juan Garcia. That might be the most popular Spanish name of all time. That's like John Smith. Juan Garcia is a John Smith of the Spanish world. He was busted Friday and charged with assault. The woman was 55 years old. First of all, he throws her down a damn hill, Joe, then he bashes her head into a tree. He deserves to be stomped out in public. That's it. Hold on here. What do we got going here?
How are you?
Sugar Bay says, we come in all colors. So true, Boogie Bob. My mom's dark. My grandfather was white. Absolutely. It's a whole spectrum. And I think black is beautiful. And I know everybody should. David Young. David Young comes from a huge family. You got Fred and Tony and Nay, and he got a big ass family. He got cousins and sisters, and I go on his Facebook. He's related to all kind of people. shout out to the Young family, beautiful family. God bless you, David. And if you see Fred or Tony, please tell them I say God bless them as well. Great, great family. They didn't want it with me on the basketball court. You tell Fred if he wants a rematch from the 82 Classic, I got his ass. How about that? I'm lying. I don't want nothing with Fred on that basketball court. Frederick. He pushed the lady down the hill. He smashed her head into a tree, then struck her head against a tree 4 times. This is a horrible person, Joe. Should this guy get out of jail anytime soon, bashing a 55-year-old woman in Central Park? The victim, whose identity was not released, had visible scrapes on her face. Guys, I bring it up all the time because I get triggered with stories like this. I was almost murdered, literally, right on that corner right there.
He'll be out in a week, this guy.
Well, my guy got 2 years. He got 5, but he had already been in 2. He's sentenced to 2 now, so that would be 4. And he's probably going to get out in the next year or so. And I'm always scared that I'm going to run into the guy. So the funny thing is, I can play some ball, girl. I can play some ball. I was born in West Philadelphia, born and raised. And on the playground, that's where I spent most of my days, maxing and relaxing, shooting some bull after the school. A couple kids that were up to no good started causing trouble in the neighborhood. I got one little fight. My mom got scared. She sent me to New York to live with Jordan Joe. I get triggered, Joe, when I think about this poor lady and her scrapes and her cuts, because it doesn't end there. She has scrapes and cuts, but mentally she's got it. I kept thinking for months that this guy who tried to kill me was coming down my hallway every time I opened my door. Even though I don't live anywhere near him and he's in jail, I'm thinking I'm going to go down here to Taco Bell and turn around. The guy's going to be sitting there choking me.
God bless Oscar, if you remember.
Oscar saved my life. Oscar defended me and saved my life.
If I was around that guy, it won't be around.
I'm so glad you weren't there to murder the guy who tried to murder me, Joe.
I use my boxing.
Joe, yesterday we had a stabbing on 42nd Street, both right here in our neighborhood at the subway, Joe. A man was stabbed on the mezzanine. I believe he was stabbed by a woman in the back. I've been stabbed by a bunch of women in the back, figuratively speaking. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place, them backstab. But speaking of Oscar, Rev, awesome Rev, has devoted the whole week to Joe, your friend's coming. Please don't let her ruin the show. He devoted the whole week to downloading every single one of our old videos off the other channel, and he's going to be putting up some Oscar stuff, which I can't wait. I'm very, very excited about it, and hopefully in the next week or so we'll have some Oscar videos to post up. Here we go. A man was stabbed on the mezzanine on the 42nd Street, 8th Avenue. Subway station. The incident unfolded just before 4 p.m. when the victim, 36, was injured by a woman with whom he appeared to be acquainted with. Oh, this is an X. Hell has no fury like a woman's scorn. Hell has. It's not has. It's hath. H-A-T-H. I don't know where that word is. Hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. She stabbed his ass in the back. She appeared to cut him with a sharp object. Well, that's either a knife or a bottle. An MTA worker told the Post, "I didn't see it. I didn't see nothing." He was bleeding from his lower back. And here's somebody actually carrying the victim. That's a New Yorker right there, trying to carry the victim to help them. Mystery kidnapping in the Brooklyn, Joe. An unidentified woman was abducted off a Brooklyn street and whisked away in a minivan. The shocking incident occurred Friday around 1:45 a.m. The man appeared to approach the woman with his arms pointed at her like he was holding a gun. Investigators don't know who the woman is or where she knew the man from. She didn't appear to be struggling like you would expect from demonstration. The victim described as a woman in her 20s, light complexion and long hair. She was taken in a Toyota minivan. I pray that this woman is rescued. What do you think of that, Joe?
That's a good one. Rescue idea.
It's a good idea to rescue the woman. I'd like it if anybody who cares about me. Some of you claim to do. If you do, I need to talk to her immediately. David Young, you're always telling me you care about me. I need her number immediately. That would be a big help. It's a personal matter that I don't care to discuss at this time. Stupor model theft suit. Model Anna. I got her name, please. Her name is Anna Alamani. Is suing Madison Square Garden after she says a club it opened helped Angela Acosta allegedly run up fake tip charges on her credit card. Okay, so Madison Square Garden did open up one club. It was called Sweet 16. Let's see if that's the club. A model claims she was drugged and scammed by a trans woman at an East Village club that is not Sweet 16. That hotspot, then owned by Madison Square Garden, was on it. The alleged scam, the subject of Manhattan Supreme Court, was reminiscent of a string of druggings and robberies that happened at the gay clubs right here in Hell's Kitchen, Joe. Had 4 people murdered, kidnapped and murdered, drugged in our neighborhood. Thank God I'm okay. Thank God she's okay. At the Baccarat Hotel in Midtown. Guys, this is something that's been going on a lot now. I went to meet a young lady last week, and the whole way over there I kept thinking, what if her husband, boyfriend, brother, cousin, neighbor jumps out of a closet and makes me give them my phone with my Cash App? I don't know, there's about $80,000 on various apps on my phone. Put a thumbprint, and there's your Cash App, and there's your Chase Bank, and there's your PayPal. So it's not like it used to be. Now they just get you, hold your eye open, and make you open your phone or use your thumbprint. I'm getting all those apps off my phone. All of them off my phone. They come in handy, but they can definitely be a death sentence. New Jersey cop sues over off-duty doobies. Doobies is weak. 4 New Jersey cops plan to sue the city after they were suspended without pay for testing positive for weed. Guys, weed is here. People are going to test positive for it. Me and Joe don't even smoke weed. How much weed do you think has gone into our lungs sitting at these tables, Joe?
Yeah, it's, when you remember during the COVID, there is a lot of drugs.
Don't keep bringing up the guy shooting
But
heroin.
now it is more
Weed.
more weed.
Weed.
Yeah.
The kids come over
smoking,
here, they sit there and
smoking
smoke and
cigarettes.
smoke and smoke. Look at this, Joe. There she is, Simone Biles. Look at her and her beautiful man. They look a beautiful couple. She's one of the most decorated Olympic. She's the GOAT. She flipped for him, and it's forever. Olympic gymnast Simone Biles announced on Instagram Saturday she tied the knot with NFLer. He's an NFL player. Jonathan Owens. So he brings some pedigree. He got the cash too, so it's all good. It's all good. We're just going around the dial. I don't got nothing. I got nothing going on but the rent. Oh my goodness, look at this. Lionel Richie. Why in the world would anybody put chains on me? She's a brick house. Lionel Richie. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's his daughter. He's walking her down the aisle. I love Lionel Richie. You never hear a bad word about the man. He's kind, compassionate, loving, and brilliant.
And he is still escaped.
Say it again, Joe.
9 years still escaped.
Oh, Joe's reading a different story. Carol Burnett may be turning 90. 90 years old, Joe. Carol Burnett. Hi, Valerie. But she doesn't feel like it inside. I feel like I'm 11. That's me, Joe. I feel like I'm this fly 22-year-old kid living in New York with a six-pack stomach and hair down to my ass. I'm not. I'm an old-ass man. I got a Ring camera, Joe. You know what a Ring camera is? It's a doorbell camera. I hooked it up on my door so I can see people try to steal my packages. Last night I walked out and it automatically, I had no shirt on, I was walking out to my hallway and I came back and there's an alert on my phone. Someone's at your door. I look at it, it's me. Oh, I look grotesque, Joe.
I look masculine.
I look horrible, grotesque. I'm not the young, cute Boogie Bob I used to be. I'm still a 9. I'm still a 9, but I used to be a 10. Carol Burnett said she feels like she's 11 years old inside. I feel like I'm 14 inside. All my ladies think I'm like an immature, young moron. I'm an immature young moron.
Mexican.
More than 24 tents. This is horrible. More than 24 tents. Tents. The thing you sleep in, a tent. Can't do it with this fake too. Tents. More than 24 tents were set ablaze in a makeshift migrant camp in Mexico border city last night as hundreds of people continue to hang at the border. 25 tents, Joe. These people travel here. They try everything they can to get here. They weren't even in America yet. They were in Mexico, across the border, trying to get here. Having a really rough time, and someone decides to light 25 tents on fire. That person should be ashamed of themselves. Joe, this is funny. You can get this watch. They're going to throw in sunglasses to sweeten the deal, but you can get this watch for $99. You can get the red or the blue. The funny thing is I have them both. I got them for 19 bucks a piece. $19, Joe. Now I don't have the glasses with them, but it's the exact watch. I have the I have the red one and the blue. $19 on Amazon. I don't want you looking at this watch today because it was not $19. It was not on there. But don't look at it. Let's see what we got going here, Joe. Airbnb hell in Florida. They called the Airbnb. Joe, you go to Airbnb. Let's say like your apartment, and you can rent it out to someone. It's an Airbnb. You put pictures online. It's great. It's by the subway. It's right by Times Square. Come along, and then you get there, and you got murdered bodies in your hallway. This one here. A New York family expecting a dreamy Florida getaway instead found a rodent-infested Airbnb nightmare. Rat-infested, Joe. Darren Sheehan and his family forked over $6,000 to stay at a home in Delray Beach last year. They arrived with the kids to find piles of dirty sheets, filthy dishes and utensils, old food in the fridge, countertop stains, and worst of all, the bathroom toilet was splattered with feces. Feces, Joe, is shit.
Yeah.
That's code word for poop.
Yeah.
The home had a suffocating reek of mildew and mold. Upon closer review, they found a rat trap, dead rodents, broken and dust-filled air conditioning vents, no hot water for showers or clean dishes. The entire week. First of all, he spent $6,000 for a week. The guy's a moron. He could have stayed at the Hilton. What are you, insane?
Stay in.
Could have stayed at Beverly Hills.
6-star hotels.
6-star. Do they make 6-star hotels?
Yeah, I heard there is in Dubai 7 stars.
That sounds crazy. I think Joe's making shit up again.
Yeah, that's outlook.
Well, he's suing for $2 million. First of all, the person that owns that shithole, no one got $2 million. Yeah, he spent $6,000 to stay at a house in Delray Beach. $6,000 for a week? You're a moron.
Well, and
that's $1,000 a day, bro. What are you, crazy? People keep saying I should rent out my place as an Airbnb for $200 a day. I don't. Where am I gonna go? What am I gonna do?
There is hotels $5,000 a night.
I've got anybody that would stay at my place. I've seen Airbnbs before. They have to be like there's nothing in them. got your TV, your remote, and bed and stuff. I got 300 watches sitting there. Yeah, just gonna. All right, come on in. Hey, go through my watch collection. Hey, make sure you play my guitars while you're here. What am I gonna do? Put all my kit in storage? FOH, Joe.
When I arrived to this country,
Yep, back in 1907.
believe me, I stayed in Roosevelt Hotel. You know what Roosevelt is?
Yes, I remember.
How many stars Roosevelt?
One. Well, back then it was a lot, but it ain't no more.
It's around 5 stars
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
I stayed 1 week, $90. I couldn't believe that.
That was 1907, Joe. That was 1907.
No, in the 60s.
I'm off by a couple.
And now you can't have a room for maybe $1,000 a night. I don't know what happened at that time. Maybe
Joe,
the place
didn't you
was
used to get
closing
a-
down. Maybe.
Didn't you used to get a cheeseburger, French fries, and a soda for like a quarter, 50 cents?
No, that was breakfast.
Breakfast.
$1.25.
$1.25 for a breakfast. What's a breakfast now,
2
Joe?
eggs, potato, and sausage. And they give you tomato juice or orange juice. You remember tomato juice
Yeah.
sometimes?
How much is that now, Joe?
$1.25, $1.50 maybe.
How about now, Joe?
$10.
15. 15.
Some places 50 and more.
Look at this poor family. Locked in a jet toilet. You go on an airplane, you're stuck. Listen, I went to Thailand twice. To fly from New York to Thailand, by law, the airplane has to stop in Japan to refuel. You can't just go straight.
Of course.
So it's 15 hours in Japan, then a 2 or 3 hour layover, then another 4 hours. It was so hard on me, Joe. I was much bigger at the time. And I actually, at one point, I got up out of my seat and I went and sat in the bathroom for 5 hours, bro. Because I just closed the door, I just sat in there like, oh, yo. Especially when you get to Japan, Joe, and you switch airplanes. The Japan people, Japanese people, are much smaller than a lot of us from the Western world.
Smaller and smarter.
The seats are like this. I rode, I'm not kidding, I was in the middle seat, I had someone on this side and someone on that side. I rode like this for 4 hours because I couldn't put my arms down. I don't like touching people. I can't be like touching Joe. I don't like it. I've known Joe 2 years, I've never touched him, ever. Joe, don't touch me, Joe.
What happened to this family? They were locked
Let's
there?
see. Say she was racially profiled by an American Airlines crew. The wife, a former FBI agent, says a flight attendant locked her in an airplane bathroom with her 3-year-old son, and then accused her of causing a terrorist incident. The mother of 2. Now this is her side of the story. I don't know what the other side is. The mother of 2, who's of Middle Eastern descent and Latin as well, is traumatized by the incident. Of course she is. She wants to get $4 million to make her feel better. The drama unfolded. The family was flying from Fort Lauderdale. Why is it always Florida, Rev? Why is Florida always got their hand in everything? To New York in September of 2022. This was just a couple months ago, Joe.
Yeah,
For a Long
3
Island
months.
wedding. Both kids urgently needed to use the bathroom. She tried to take the baby to the first class bathroom. They said no. If you're on a plane, Joe, you're not allowed in first class. Keep your ass back there with the rest of us bums. Don't move the curtain. You ain't allowed up there. You spending $600 for your seats and they're spending $3,000 for their seats. They ain't letting you up front, bro. You can't use their bathroom. Everybody else was using it, she said. But one flight attendant barred her without explanation. If you're too dumb to know that you can't use the first class bathrooms, then you're dumb. I mean, you could get away with it, but you're persona non grata. Everybody else was using it, she said. She changed the baby's diaper in the rear of the plane. A second flight attendant told her there was no prohibition on using the closer bathroom, so she took her son to the lavatory. The flight attendant who had barred her from the first class tried to stop her. First of all, I don't believe a word she's saying. Nah, I'm not on the side of the airline, but this whole thing sounds fishy. I don't believe it. Sorry, I don't believe it. Hey Joe, World War II death ship. A Japanese merchant ship sunk during World War II, carrying more than 1,000 Allied prisoners of war has been found. So it's a Japanese ship, but it's carrying 1,000 prisoners of war.
They still inside?
They were inside when it sunk. The Montevideo Maru was torpedoed on July 1st, 1942. That's the height of the war. Off the coast of the Philippines by a U.S. submarine whose crew did not realize the vessel carried prisoners of war. So they really killed their own people, which is horrible. It was Australia's largest maritime wartime loss with over 1,080 lives. Can you imagine, Joe? That's half the World Trade Center. The 12-day search by the teams, they found it 13,000 feet below the surface, Joe. That's tragic.
But the fish
I hope, yeah, fish have been eating on those people for years. I hope that it brings closure to some people who never knew what happened to their loved ones.
Well, their loved ones are dead already.
The loved ones are actually dead too. Happened in 1942. Their great-great-grandmas might be alive.
That's 60 and 28 years old.
Joe?
Nobody left.
It's Sunday. It's time to take a trip around the world, Joe.
Australia?
I took a trip around the world in college. It wasn't
You
so
should
much
have
fun.
went to Australia. You were in Thailand.
I've never been to
From
Australia.
Thailand to Australia is 2 hours flight.
I've never been. Good day, Kiwis. Good day, Kiwis. The Australian government is streamlining citizen applications in New Zealanders who have lived in Australia for more than 4 years. The new measures are expected to benefit more than 350,000 New Zealanders. I can tell you one thing, Joe. If you ever meet a Kiwi that's a New Zealander, and you are in New York, let's say, and somebody says, "Hey, mate, can you tell me where the subway's at?" And you say something stupid like, "Oh, you from Australia?" and they're from New Zealand, they're gonna punch you in your face. "Nah, mate, I'm not from no damn Australia. New Zealand, mate." And it's a real faux pas. It's a faux pas, Joe. Don't do it. And vice versa. Especially if they're from England. And you say, "Good day, mate." And they're like, "Yo, bro, I'm not Australian. I'm gonna cut you in your finger." Joe, you been to France?
Yes.
Ancient graves of men, women, and children buried in wooden coffins were recently found in Paris. You know, Joe, underneath Paris, they have the catacombs. You heard of this, right? There are, like our subway tunnels here, there are tunnels there full of skulls, dead bodies. For England, too, I believe. For thousands of years, Joe, they just threw people down in those catacombs. They buried them down below the thing. The 2,000-year-old grave. 2,000-year-old, Joe. That's older than you. That's a lot older than you. That's older than you by 50 years.
You know what happened to me when I went to Paris?
What?
I don't
got
speak.
robbed?
I don't speak French.
Yeah.
And I wanted to use the bathroom. And I went down and I went. I don't know which one is men and women. I went to the woman bathroom, and the woman was screaming inside. Wow! I ran right out.
That's funny. Joe don't speak French. I don't speak Greek, but I did in college. 2,000-year-old graves were relics of Roman town next to Notre Dame Cathedral, Notre Dame Cathedral, and offer important clues to the funeral rites of Parisi, a Gaelic tribe that inhabited the ancient city of Lutetia. All those cultures are gone, Joe.
Yeah.
One year there's going to be Martians walking around here going, "What is this New York crap? Who's this Boogie Bob we've been hearing about?" Russia. Joe, I know you've been to Russia.
I literally
No, Russia.
in there.
It's not far from us. But
A prominent human rights lawyer who defended the Kremlin critic, recently sentenced to 25 years in prison, said he had fled Russia amid threats that he would soon be locked up himself. Joe, if you're an enemy of Vladimir Putin, there's a very good chance you're going to fall down an elevator shaft or off a balcony. They've had about 10 oligarchs Those are rich Russians. Fall off their balconies this year already. A lot of them also get poisoned. One guy fell and tripped onto a knife 14 times. In his back.
From a skyscraper.
Joe, have you been to Mexico? He fell onto a knife from a skyscraper. Joe's finally got a zinger in there. Pretty good, Joe. Pretty good. Pretty good. Joe, you been to Mexico?
No.
I don't care about it. Canada, Joe.
Canada, yes.
We've been to Canada.
Ontario.
Alfred Cruz sent me that beautiful hat I was wearing yesterday from my Canada.
How you doing, Alfred Cruz?
Alfred Cruz. Canada has issued an arrest warrant for a U.S. YouTuber. Oh boy. Is it me or you, Joe?
What is he doing?
Well, we were in Canada. We were in Saskatchewan a couple days ago and Manitoba. Canada has issued an arrest warrant for a U.S. YouTuber who posted video of himself illegally fishing in a national park. Can't do that, bro. Zachary Fowler of Maine, along with the Canadian Greg Owens, filmed themselves on their 30-day survival challenge in the Canadian Rockies. Although the videos were made 4 years ago, they were recently flagged by Canadian authorities. You can't fish in those parks. 4 years later, they're coming after your ass, bro. By the way, if you do illegal shit, don't put it on the internet. Don't put it on the internet.
I don't know how to work it.
No, I'm on the middle of a show. I'm in the middle of a show here.
My fish is shot.
Joe's
no
friend.
shots.
Short?
No shots. Toffee, ما أنا دويته ما رجعت. She has no shots. I mean, you can't use it. You can't use it until you shot it.
Shop owners from New York to Hawaii take action as homeless camps threaten the city. Joe, I love the homeless. You know that. But I just don't blame some of these shop owners who they have a shop like this kid. You know the kid laying on the street on 9th Avenue over there?
Yeah.
Every day he's laying out in front of Dunkin' Donuts and there's a pile of junk right next to him. I've always given him money. It's not Danny. By the way, guys, Rev put up a video last night. It was my very first newscast from McDonald's. It's the day that I invented the news. I invented news. There was never a newscast before. And on that, I don't know if Rev knew this or not, but on that newscast, Danny's on there. He was on there about 4 or 5 times. So I think it was the first time I really introduced you guys to Danny. The kid that's over here, Joe, is not Danny. It's some heroin guy. I've given him money. He goes, so you give me money for a homeless kid? And I gave him money. And then last night I walked by and he's shooting heroin.
Fahim.
I'm not giving this guy no damn money no more. I'm not buying you heroin, bro. I'll buy Danny his crack. I'm not buying you your heroin. And I will always love you. Alvin Bragg's prosecution of Trump. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the Trump thing.
يعطيك العافية.
I love everybody. Why does he?
Well,
Sitting
have
right behind my camera, and
we
then
have-
this decides I want to come up and get it.
we have to live with the poor and the rich.
I love the poor and the rich. I just don't like her purposely not caring that the show is going on. Being polite.
I feel very sorry.
I do.
Their telephone is not working because she didn't charge it.
Yeah. So then she should come in the middle of our show. My phone ain't working. Ma'am, I will be happy.
If you don't charge your phone, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work. I will be very, very happy to help you after the show. I got 75 people. Well, there's 63 now. 10 of them just left.
How you doing?
10 of them
my
didn't like
friend?
my heroin story. Creighton didn't like it. This cat has an attitude. It's a catitude. Look at the cute cat, Joe. Kate Beckinsale's cat. Clive. His name is Clive. Here's Timothy Charlemagne. That's the hottest young actor in the game. And over there is Martin Scorsese. We call him Marty around these parts. I don't care. I'm just going through the motions here. If anybody knows the supermodel, I need to talk to her. It's an urgent. It's a matter of life or death. I'm just going around the dial. Joe?
A lot
Guess
of
what
news
time?
these days.
What time is it, Joe?
Well, time for astroscope.
It's time for astroscopes. It's about time that I bust a rhyme. I'm not busting rhymes, but I'm going to do my ventriloquist. It's about time that I bust a rhyme. I'm not busting rhymes. Do it without my lips moving. It's about time that I bust a rhyme. I'm not busting a rhyme, but when I bust a rhyme, I'm here to let you know that we're about to flow. It's time for the Jordan Joe Show. Joe, are you ready? Do you want me to spin the wheel?
There go.
I didn't spin it yet. Joe. You just guess it. You want me to spin the wheel, Joe, or you want to do colors today? What do you want to do?
Do it. Well, give me three pieces.
Boom.
Three.
It's Cancer. Joe, we have Cancer.
Every day, cancer.
Gemini. I'll let fate decide. And Libra. Joe, do you know any Libras?
Libra is
When Joe first started doing the horoscopes, he would say, Libra are good people. We are very kind, nice people. Why are you lying to the people, Joe?
They know. Alfred Cruz knows.
Alfred Cruz.
Kevin Butler.
Kevin Butler
We
knows.
didn't hear from Kevin Butler for a while.
Kevin Butler's been in prison, Joe. He gets out Thursday. So shout out to Kevin Butler.
No, I need your coffee.
Shout out. Kevin Butler cannot get you coffee. He's in prison. But he gets out pretty soon. And I'm looking forward to the day Kevin's home again. I'm not going to rest until...
How you doing, Revlon? We miss your teaching.
We miss your teaching, Revlon.
Yes.
Angie E's in the house. Why didn't no one tell
God
me
bless
Angie
you,
E's here?
Auntie.
How come not every person in here is saying hi to Angie E? First of all, Joe, did you say hi to Angie E?
Yes.
I don't think you did.
How are you?
Streaming with Vinny's in the house. Joe Hernandez, your best friend.
How
Joe
you
Hernandez
doing,
is
Joe?
here.
How is everything? How is your...
Antonio, we're praying for you and your family. God bless you, Playboy. God bless you. Joe, it's a beautiful day. What's the weather looking like, Joe?
It's 63 degrees. It's beautiful weather, but we have chance of rain.
Do you think I should take my shirt off, Joe?
If you wanted to take it off, take your pants off.
Don't,
Take
don't,
your shirt
Joe.
off.
Don't you dare.
Why?
You've been trying to get me to take my pants off for 2 years, Joe.
Yes.
You're a happily married man, Joe. How dare you?
No, because you said you hot
I didn't say I was hot.
or in heat.
And Joe just making shit up.
All right.
I'm in love with the
I-
shape of you.
How you doing, everybody?
Push and pull like a magnet do.
Cancer.
Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, oh
Keep
wow.
certain thoughts to yourself,
That's what you should do, Joe. Keep certain thoughts.
especially if they are the kind that could upset people of a sensitive disposition.
That's me. You're coming on to me, Joe. That's sexual harassment in the workplace.
Mars in your sign makes you rather aggressive at times. And while that is generally a good thing, it can result in unnecessary friction.
Joe, has there ever been friction in Uranus? Is there friction in Uranus, Joe? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, there is. Yes, there is friction in Joe's anus. Hey, Joe, if your Uncle Jack was on a runaway horse, would you help your Uncle Jack off the horse?
I will, of course. You know, the horse see me, he will stop.
The
Because
horse
he
sees
knows-
Joe, he'll stop.
He knows that I was a jockey
He was a
when I
jockey.
was younger.
A jockey. So you're saying if your Uncle Jack was on a runaway horse, you would help your Uncle Jack off the horse?
Yes.
That's wonderful, Joe. You're a kind person. I bet the horse is grateful as well. What else you got, Joe?
Gemini.
Gemini.
A partnership may be going through a stressful time,
That's us. Me and you.
but things
Hey, ladies.
might be better if you did not expect so much of each other. Sit down together and discuss what is that seems to divide you.
What divides me and you, Joe?
It's because you like Biden and I like the what's his name,
Trump?
Trump. But both of them they work for United States
They do?
for their best for United States.
Yes. Trump works for the best for the United States.
Gemini, you
I quit
may
this show.
be
I quit. I'm outta
surprised to
here.
discover it is not much at all. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Trump will fix things up.
Oh, he did such a great job last time.
Okay. All right.
Not going to get political.
Yeah. Libra.
Oye, mingo, viejo.
Libra.
Calgon, take me away.
Hopefully
I
you
think Joe
are
should be committed.
here. I am. Libra.
This is Libra. And Joe, I think it's a well-known fact that you're a Libra.
Hopefully you are smart enough to realize that if you do what an authority figure expects of you, the result could be extraordinary. Their aim and their aims may not be in complete alignment, but they are close enough to make an alliance work with you.
Okay. I didn't hear a word Joe said. I'm reading the comments. Hi, Denise Clark. How are you?
Your mind is
Alfred
on
Cruz,
the girls
Mr. Bob.
and not.
My mind is on the girls. I'm looking. I'm always looking.
You're always looking at the girls.
What else you got, Joe? Hey, did you do birthdays?
Born on this day.
So, guys,
the
this time of the show-
23rd of this day, happy birthday for whoever.
The
born
the
on
what's the
this
da- what's the date, Joe? The 23rd.
23rd.
So, guys, this day is where we celebrate people's birthdays. We're going to
Okay.
celebrate their birthdays. If you're born on this day, hi, Stellar. Stellar Pay. I see some new names in here. Everybody say hi to Stellar. And how come, Joe? Why didn't you say hi to Denise?
How you doing,
What's your
Denise?
problem,
How is
Joe?
everything? What's your problem, Denise?
What's
If
your-
you have any problem, come to here to New York.
No problem. Come here.
Robert will take you around.
I'll take you around.
Give
Mighty
you-
Bull's in the house. Hey, Mighty.
Yes. How are you doing, Mr.
How you doing, Mr.
Alfred?
How you doing, Mr. Alfred? Hi,
Long
Miguel.
time. Yes. How you doing, Mr. Miguel?
Joe has a brain fart.
Okay.
We're going to do birthdays now. Joe's going to read off a
on this
birthday.
day, on this day, you tell this man happy birthday if he's still around.
It better not be Hitler. It better
Well,
not be
if
Hitler.
he's still around, tell him happy birthday.
I will.
William Shakespeare.
I don't think he's around anymore, Joe. I think he died like a week or two ago. William Shakespeare, Joe, might be a fraud.
He never died.
He never died. He's only 540 years old.
His
William Shakespeare, Joe, wrote some of the most important plays and literature in the history of the world. But it
from
turns
today
out,
to the end of time. He's
turns
the
out
best.
that he might have been illiterate and couldn't even write, and that he took credit from a black woman's writings. I'm going to dig deeper into that. I'm going to be doing a whole video on it, but we will find out. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou? It is the east, and my sun rises in the west. I don't know.
He never died. His image is still alive. And
I
will
can tell you this
be
much.
alive forever.
When you're correct about that, Joe. He will always live on. When I listen to any Shakespeare, I sit there as someone who writes myself. I sit, hey girl, what were we talking about? The
Shakespeare.
Yankees? Oh, okay, Shakespeare. Girl, you're going to get arrested.
This is not interesting anymore.
I was until... So, Joe, when I hear William Shakespeare talk, a rose by any other name is still a rose. The things he would say, the writing, so eloquent, and even though it's a different time and it's a different speak, is absolutely brilliant. The way he would put words together And there are many that go way over my head because of some of the times, the different wordings. But some of the basic stuff he says, Joe, he wouldn't say, hey, how's it going? He would say, are thy the lift who does not? And he just, Joe, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant writer. And if he wrote all that stuff, congratulations. And if he didn't write all that stuff, then shout out to the young lady who did. What else you got, Joe?
JM.
By the way, you didn't say when he died. When was he around? 1400?
1564.
1564. That's when he was born, I think.
Born. Died 1616.
1616. So you were in high school with this guy. What was he like in person, Joe?
36, 46. He was a young man when he died, 52 years old.
What was he like in college, Joe? Were you close?
I gave him lessons from the beginning, and I told him how to write those essays.
Essays. All right.
And he listened to me, and he started doing his own way.
And I believe that Shakespeare, when he wrote a play called R, it had all the R's in there. Shakespeare. All right. Joe likes to roll the R. And you know what, Joe? Before I die, one of my bucket lists is I'm going to learn how to roll the R. Ladies, once I learn how to roll that R, you better watch out now.
Well, J.M.W. Turner.
Turner. I don't know who that is.
He is a very great painter, like Goya, or like Michelangelo.
Speaking of Goya,
Turner.
I put up a Boogie Bob cooking show last night.
If you have one of those paintings from Turner, give it to me, please.
You got money. What else you got, Joe?
James Buchanan.
Who?
James Buchanan.
James Buchanan?
What is that? The president of USA? What?
He wasn't
Buchanan?
a president. James Buchanan. Well, he was a president, but that was
15
like
president of
15.
USA.
So that was in the 18.
I don't know how to spell those
James
names.
Buchanan. You did good. James
How are you,
Buchanan.
Mr.
James
Buchanan?
Hi, Buchanan. James Buchanan, one of my
It looks
favorites.
like Pocono, the Pocono.
It's like he's from the Poconos.
Same thing.
I was poking holes back in college. Sorry, that was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. I apologize.
Jim Bottomley.
Jim Bottomley?
Yes.
What a crazy name.
His baseball, one of the greatest baseball.
Never heard of him.
Or Warren
Treaton.
Spahn.
Warren Spahn
Yeah.
was a guy who was a human. Warren Spahn was a guy who was a human. That's all I know, Joe. What do you know?
The baseball,
Baseball.
great baseball. Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple is a drink. It's a drink. Streaming with Vinny's in the house. God bless you, Vinny.
How you doing,
Sending
Vinny?
love to you and your beautiful wife,
How is
Jamie. Hope
everything?
all is well. God bless you. Guys, you can check out Streaming with Vinny. All you got to do is go over and hit the sub button. And if he likes, he could drop the link.
All right,
Or Rev could drop the links.
Who is Warren Spahn?
Why are you asking Vinny? That was Vinny.
How you doing, Vinny?
What was the last name you just did, Joe?
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Passed away now, unfortunately. Shirley Temple Black. She was Shirley Temple, the youngest person to ever win an Oscar. They made a little miniature statue. Shirley Temple was a brilliant, I don't like to use that word too often, brilliant dancer, singer, actress. She was the most famous actress in the world at the age of 6 or 7 years old. And she went on, and of course she got that thing that you get where you get typecast, and then she couldn't grow up. What she did, a lot different than a lot of child actors, is she didn't succumb to heroin and dying in the streets. She became a senator, Shirley Temple Black. Don't know if she was a congresswoman, I'm not sure what she did, but she did a lot for people, and I appreciate her very much. Good for you, girl.
Yes.
Boop, boop, be doop, boop.
Roy Orbison. Who is Roy Orbison?
Pretty woman,
That's-
walking down the
That's
street,
it.
pretty woman.
Yeah.
The girl I'd like to meet, pretty woman. He was an amazing singer, Joe. Not for everybody. Not everybody's gonna like that thing he does, but man, What a singer he was. Also a great guitar player. Roy Orbison has also left us. God bless him. He left a legacy. Just a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant singer. What else you got, Joe?
Michael Moore.
Hold on a second here. David Young has got an exclusive right there. David Young says she was a member of the United Nations. David Young is correct. Guys, most of the time I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, look to David. David's going to correct it. Shirley Temple Black was a member of the UN, the United Nations. Shout out to David for that's a David Young exclusive.
How you doing, David?
Ambrose didn't catch it.
you.
Joe did. Joe sure the hell did.
Thank you, David.
What else you got, Joe?
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore. I had a very
Remember, you know,
I had a very humiliating situation with Michael Moore. It humbled me. It made me look like an absolute moron. Michael Moore is a very, very liberal director. His biggest breakout that put him on the map, I got 85 kids right here. The one that put him on the map was not Columbine, Bowling for Columbine, although that was a huge, he had Fahrenheit 911, he had a whole bunch of stuff, but the one that put him on the map was Roger and Me. He was from Flint, Michigan. He did a whole thing about Flint, Michigan, and Roger was the guy who ran Michigan, or was the head of the unions who closed down the car factory. I don't remember who the hell Roger was, but his breakout hit, the one that catapulted Michael Moore into the stratosphere as a filmmaker, got nominated for all kinds of awards, was a film called Roger and Me. That was his first big one. Well, I'm at Planet Hollywood, and he's there. He's the hottest guy in the game right now. He walks by. I go up and give him the old handshake hug thing, and I said, "Hey, Roger." I thought he was Roger.
I don't want Roger.
You know what he said to me? He goes, "Hey, how are you?" He did not belittle me. He did not make me look like a moron. He wasn't Roger. He was me. The name of the show is Roger and Me. That's like going up to Abbott and Costello and calling Abbott Costello. I screwed up. I dropped the ball. Hi, Roger. How's it going? Oh, boy, Joe. Where's your astroscope, Joe? It's Stacy's birthday, Joe.
How are your birthday?
Get your, can you do an astroscope for Stacy, please? I didn't know. Joe didn't remind me.
Why would you
Yeah, I don't think Michael Moore's a very good person myself. I really don't. I think he's a mean-spirited person. He was very kind to me. He could have made me look like a moron in front of 300 people. I went up to act like I knew him. Hey, what's up, Roger? He goes, "Hey, how are you?" By the way, Roger Clinton, Bill Clinton's brother, was there every day. I was very friendly with him.
That's for your birthday.
I don't know what the hell happened to him.
That's for her birthday.
This is for Stacy, guys. I want to wish Stacy a very, very happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Now, Stacy, if you've never had Joe sing to you before, this is going to be a treat. A, he never does a song the same way twice because I don't think he knows
Make
how.
sure you spell out in plain and simple language what it is you expect of family and friends.
This is strictly for Stacy right now. Stacy D's in the house.
If you leave them in any doubt, they will have to guess and almost certainly get it wrong.
That's fact.
Make your words count.
Make your words count.
Happy birthday to you. Sweet birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Stacy.
Live up to 100 years and more in happiness and good health. Happy birthday again and again. God bless you. Happy birthday to you.
I never know when the song's over until Joe starts clapping for himself. That's when I know the song's over. Because Joe has no rhythm, rhyme, or it's just, Joe just lets it go. Everybody gets a custom birthday greeting on this show. You know why? Because Joe doesn't know how happy birthday to you goes. Joe just kind of wings it and goes down an alley, and he's going to bring it. Usually he'll hit to about the 100 years, which is beautiful. And I just absolutely love it. Hey guys, we're closing in on 1,000 subs. Once we get 1,000 subs, we're going to have the Joe Don't Care shirts. There's a new shirt called Boogie Bob is Shit. That should be a big seller. And we're going to also be doing a lot of wonderful things for the homeless. And it's going to be a much better show than my last one. As you know, guys, my last show had 8,000 subscribers. We tore it down and we started from scratch. We're the only YouTube channel that's ever done that. It feels weird not having 8,000 subscribers, but the ones I have now are much more engaged. Let me put it this way, I got 75 people in here right now, and I only have 1,000. I have 900 subscribers, 930. And when I had 8,000, I would only have about 100 people in here. And they weren't, a lot of them weren't even engaged. So it's not 172, Joe, streaming, it's 72. We got 72 more to go.
Have a nice
We're
day.
at 930. So I would love it if you guys would share the lives, do a bunch of stuff. The way YouTube is set up, you can't really get the channel popping, the algorithm and all that until you hit the 1,000. I started at 0 2.5 months ago. Rev has been such a huge help. Rev is going to be putting up a whole bunch of videos today. I'll be helping him. Here's how I help him. I call him. I say, hey, can you put up some videos? He goes, yeah. That's our teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. So thank you, Rev. I appreciate everything. And thank you, Joe.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate you as well. Guys, share the live if you want.
Valerie Martinelli.
Valerie Bertinelli is, oh, what the hell was the TV show? You get extra points if you get first one in there. You got to be careful because Ambrose is quick. Valerie Bertinelli had a TV show. Her mom, played by Bonnie, I forget her damn mom's name. The sister, unfortunately died of drugs. Valerie Bertinelli had a huge show. It was called, there's Ambrose, One Day at a Time. One Day at a Time. Valerie Bertinelli, 63. She was so young, so fine. She still is, I'm not saying.
63.
She married Eddie Van Halen. Valerie Bertinelli married Eddie Van Halen and was with him for 20-something years and has kids by him. Their kid, the one kid is Wolfgang. Their son is Wolfgang, a very accomplished guitar and bass player himself. He's no Michael Anthony, that's for damn sure. But God bless him. Shout out to Valerie Bertinelli. What else you got, Joe?
John Cena.
John Cena? You can't see me.
You remember
I
that?
had an amazing time with John Cena. I am the agent of Rob Bass. Rob Bass, it takes two to make a thing go right. I want to rock right now. I'm Rob Bass and I want to get down. 25 years with Rob Bass. And Rob Bass, even though he's one of my best friends, he's also a huge superstar to people who grew up on him. All of you know that song. But joy and pain, sunshine and rain. You can see their videos on my channel. Me and Rob are still, me and Kyle. I managed Kyle for his whole career.
John.
Got him all the way to third
Yeah.
place. Go ahead, John.
That's John Oliver.
Well, I'm not done with John Cena. What are you doing?
No, go ahead with the
How you
wrestler.
gonna step
Did you
on my
ever
shit?
wrestle with him?
I did not. You don't want it with John Cena. He's amazing. Here's the thing. We had the VH1 Honors. And VH1 Honors is very, very hard to get into. They're going to honor. That night they were honoring Sugar Hill Gang, Ice-T, a whole bunch of things. And because I'm Rob's agent, I was able to get us tickets for Rob Bass, DJ Easy Rock, Kyle Rifkin, and myself. And we're all four sitting in the seats. And John Cena is there with a guy named Bumpy Knuckles, Freddie Fox. And John Cena, his whole first gimmick as a wrestler was he was a rapper, white boy rapper, a Marky Mark rapper. Before he became the biggest superstar in wrestling, he was a rapper guy. And John Cena would come out and he'd rap. And he's so chiseled and buff. But Joe, he's now a huge movie star. But back then, he was just some kind of guy in the middle of the wrestling. And he was sitting there, and I heard him telling the guy, he goes, oh my God, that's Rob Bass. I'm a huge fan. Oh my God, I want a picture. And I turned to him like, hey, John, I'm a big fan. Would you like to meet Rob Bass? As the same night I introduced Rob Bass to Snoop Dogg. These are guys who are huge legends, but they also happen to like other people. Rob Bass is the most down-to-earth, nicest guy. Sold 20 million records. Nicest guy in the world. And he is so humble that he forgets that there are people like a Jay-Z or a Mariah Carey who really enjoyed him back in the 80s and the 90s. And anyways, I introduced John Cena that night. It was one of the best nights ever because John Cena was not only a fan of Rob Bass's, but also the DJ Easy Rock. And he took Easy Rock, his daughter, Skip is dead now, that's Easy Rock, he died. But his daughter was a huge John Cena fan. And they took a selfie and the daughter was so happy. It was just a very magical night. And John Cena, I will always remember him as such a gracious, nice guy for that. And when he doesn't know me, but when I see him again, I will bring up that story. And believe me, he was like a little kid in a candy store. Rip Easy Rock, Skip, one of the greats.
Hello?
Joe don't care. Let's listen to Joe. He likes to lie on the phone a lot.
I'll call you later.
Sometimes he says, I'm in Subway, I can't talk.
My grandson.
Oh, Joe does not lie to me. What else you got, Joe? John Cena. Okay, John
Oliver.
That was John Oliver. He's the guy from HBO. Used to be on. He's fun. I don't know much about him. He's an English guy. John Oliver's great. Next.
Okay, on the dead.
On the dead. We do not celebrate their death, Joe. We merely point out that they were here and we miss them and we love them.
Tim Casey.
Who?
Tim Casey. Baseball. Okay. We have Harold Arlen.
Why do you hate me, Joe?
James,
what did I do?
who is James Ray?
Oh boy. James Earl Ray, Joe, is the guy who shot and killed Martin Luther King. Horrible, horrible story after that, Joe. James Earl Ray shot and killed Martin Luther King, went on the run, was finally caught, and then 40 years later, they gave James Earl, what's the guy that played Darth Vader? James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones. You know him. He's an Academy Award-winning African-American actor.
He lived on 42nd Street.
He lived right here in Midtown.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones, one of the biggest movie stars of all time. He went on to be the voice of Darth Vader. Well, he won an NAACP award from the National Committee of African American.
I'll be right back.
Joe, tell me.
The last one is Boris Yeltsin.
Boris Yeltsin. You're going to leave her in the middle of our show?
That's the president of Russia. I'll
Joe
be
has
right back.
a prostate of a 95-year-old, so he has to go. Should we watch him? Last time Joe tripped. Wanted to trip. There he is. Let's watch Joe. This is the guy who claims he's a Olympic skier. He's going to turn right now. Let's just take your time, Joe. Take your time, buddy. Take your time, my friend. Take your time. Last time he tried to jump the wall, and I look over, there's Joe laying on the ground. James Earl Ray killed Martin Luther King, and then 40 or 50 years later, they're giving James Earl Jones an award from the NAACP, a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he goes to get the award, and he moves the name for the plaque, the covering of the plaque, and it said James Earl Ray. Somebody got fired. What a horrible, horrible, horrific thing to do. The last one is Boris Yeltsin. Boris Yeltsin was the president of the Soviet Union. I don't know much about it. Joe does. Joe left. It's funny, whenever Joe gets up to go pee, he goes, I'll be right back. I have to pee. I go, Joe, they're looking right at you. Hey guys, we're going to call it a day. The Giants beat the Mets 7-4. Giants beat the Mets 7-4. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays 3-2. NBA is going on right now. Please, if you care about me, my Warriors are in the playoffs. They're playing tonight against the Kings. I would appreciate a little prayer. Not that we lose. The 76ers beat the Nets handily at 96-88. I have a really nice Nets hat I'd like to wear. LeBron James and the Lakers beat the Grizzlies. Joe's coming back really quick. Yeah, the Kings are a really good team this year. I would not be surprised if they upset the Warriors. I don't want them to. I'm a Warriors fan, but I'm also a California, Northern Cali 707. Say it backwards. So if the Warriors do lose, I hope that the Kings win it all. I would love to see the Kings win a championship. I don't think they have since I've been alive. Lots of hockey last night. I don't know shit about hockey, so I'm not going to tell you. Look who's back. Back again. Joe is back. Joe is back. Joe is back.
It took me 2 minutes.
2 minutes, Joe. I say you've got the prostate of a 140-year-old man.
The last one was on that is
Boris Yeltsin. Can you tell us about him, Joe? He was a Russian president of the Soviet Union.
He died 2000, I think, and 1.
Boris Yeltsin. Now he was before Gorbachev, right? Was he before or after?
After. He's the last, what you call a Soviet Union president, because after him the Soviet Union dissolved.
I just remember Ronald Reagan standing defiantly saying, Gorbachev, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. And guess what? They tore that shit down. I have a couple of the wall pieces on my channel. You can just type in Boogie Bob, German wall, Berlin wall. I have a couple pieces there scattered around the city. They're worth tens of millions of dollars. Joe, I'm done. I ain't got nothing else.
Yeah, we have to.
I'm a blood now, so I got to get to my blood meeting. We're going to ride on the Crips tonight. Those Crips will be sorry that they ever... Joe, are you wearing blue on your collar? Joe, are you a Crip?
And my jacket is blue.
Oh.
The collar.
This could go ugly.
But the jacket is yellow.
Oh boy, the Warriors are losing. Bowman, why do you hate me so much? I'm going home to watch the game. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please be kind and loving to each other. Be good to yourselves. Guys, we need 72 more people before we get to our 1,000 subscribers. On the 1,000 subscriber show, I'm giving away 2 watches, 2 very nice watches. We're going to have a thing. Me and Joe are doing the show with our shirt off. We're going to have a ladies. We're going to be popping bottles. And I want to thank you all for tuning in. I love you all very much. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, get in the comments and say, I love the show. We went an hour and a half today, Joe.
Have a nice day. Yes, we are. Have a nice day, everybody.
God bless you.
God bless.
Bye. Thank you, Joe. Joe, is the Germans here today?
No.